Have you ever noticed how everyone says fruit is always healthy? Eat as much as you want, they say. It's natural. It comes from the earth. It can't be bad for you. But what if I told you that after 60, or rather, after 62, some of the most popular fruits might actually be speeding up your body's aging, raising your blood sugar, and even damaging your memory and heart? Yes, those same fruits you probably eat every morning thinking you're doing something good. Picture this. You wake up, slice a ripe banana, mix it with some low-fat yogurt, and think, what a healthy breakfast. But what almost no one tells you is that this combination might be triggering glucose spikes that inflame your cells and slow down your brain over time. According to a study published in the Journal of Gerontology, chronically high glucose levels are linked to accelerated cognitive decline and an increased risk of dementia in people over 60. And believe it or not, certain fruits, especially when overly ripe or eaten the wrong way, are among the main culprits. Moreover, researchers from the Harvard School of Public Health reveal that some types of natural fructose, when consumed in excess, can damage the liver and disrupt metabolism, making it harder to control weight, raising cholesterol, and even lowering cellular energy, something many people mistake for natural aging. But it's not your fault. For decades, we were taught to believe that the more fruit, the better. Only the body changes with age. Metabolism slows down, insulin sensitivity increases, and what used to be a light snack can now become a silent trigger for inflammation. That's why in this video, you'll discover the 6 fruits people over 62 should stop eating immediately, and the scientific reason behind each one. Some of them might be in your morning juice, others in that fit snack that looks harmless. But they all have one thing in common. They look healthy, yet they hide real risks for anyone who wants to age with vitality, sharp memory, and pain-free joints. Now, if you can't wait to learn which fruits actually help your body stay young, light, and full of energy, click the link in the description and watch the other video I've prepared for you. In it, I reveal the fruits and foods that act as a true longevity shield, protecting your heart, your mind, and your joints. But if you want to understand what's silently sabotaging your health first, stay here with me, because the next fruit we're going to analyze might be sitting in your refrigerator right now. It's sweet, convenient, and found in almost every home. Some even call it the perfect fruit to start the day. But after 62, this fruit could be accelerating your body's aging, inside and out. We're talking about the ripe banana. Yes, the banana, a symbol of energy, potassium, and health, can turn into a silent villain once your body starts handling the fruit's natural sugar, fructose, differently. You see, as we age, metabolism changes. The pancreas slows down, the liver becomes less efficient, and the body begins to accumulate more glucose in the blood after each meal. A single ripe banana can contain up to 20 grams of natural sugar, roughly equivalent to 5 teaspoons of refined sugar. And according to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, repeated glucose spikes, even from natural foods, are associated with oxidative damage in cells, which accelerates the aging of the skin, arteries, and brain. In other words, that innocent snack might be aging you from the inside out. In addition, ripe bananas have a high glycemic index, meaning they raise blood sugar quickly, causing a chain reaction, a surge in insulin, increased abdominal fat storage, and over time, a higher risk of type 2 diabetes and cognitive decline. And here's something few people talk about. Excess fructose, even natural fructose, burdens the liver, stimulating the production of triglycerides and bad cholesterol, LDL. That's why many older adults who eat a healthy diet often have high cholesterol and glucose levels, even without consuming refined sweets. But wait, that doesn't mean you need to give up bananas forever. The problem lies in how much, and when you eat them. For example, a green or semi-ripe banana contains more resistant starch and less sugar, a much safer option. But a ripe banana at night, eaten alone without any protein or fiber, is an open invitation to glucose spikes and insomnia caused by hormonal fluctuations. The secret, as always, is understanding how your body responds. After 60, what matters isn't only what you eat, but how your body reacts to it. And bananas are just the beginning, because the next fruit on the list is even more deceptive. It's famous for helping digestion and being great for the intestine, but recent studies show that it can actually cause joint inflammation and raise uric acid levels, especially in older adults. If you thought bananas were a problem, wait until you hear about the next one. It has an irresistible tropical aroma, it's creamy, colorful, and shows up in fit recipes, smoothies, and healthy desserts. But the truth is, for anyone over 60, Mango is practically a natural candy that disrupts your metabolism. A single medium mango can contain up to 45 grams of sugar, more than a small can of soda. And even though it's natural sugar, the effect on your body is the same. Blood sugar spikes, energy crashes a few hours later, and fat buildup in the liver. Researchers from the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School warn that excessive consumption of tropical fruits rich in fructose, such as mango, increases the risk of insulin resistance, one of the main causes of belly fat, fatigue, and premature aging. And there's more. Too much fructose raises uric acid, which can inflame joints and worsen cases of gout, knee pain, and finger pain. Symptoms very common after 60. In other words, that healthy mango smoothie for breakfast might actually be sabotaging your body while you think you're nourishing. But if you think mango is bad, get ready. Because the next fruit is even more misleading, precisely because it's known for regulating digestion. For decades, pineapple has been sold as the best friend of the stomach. It helps digest proteins, it reduces bloating, it relieves heartburn. But new research shows that this reputation can be dangerous for anyone over 62. It's true that pineapple contains bromelain, a powerful digestive enzyme. The problem is that it's also very acidic and extremely high in sugar, especially the varieties bred to taste sweeter. The result? For an older body, which already produces fewer digestive enzymes and has a more delicate stomach line, the acidity of pineapple can irritate the stomach, increase acid reflux, and cause inflammation in the mucous membrane. And according to a study published in the Journal of Functional Foods, the combination of high acidity and high fructose can increase cortisol, the stress hormone, leading to muscle loss and difficulty sleeping. So that pineapple after a heavy meal that feels like it helps digestion may actually be triggering silent inflammation and disrupting your hormonal balance. There's more. For people with intestinal sensitivity, pineapple can damage the mucosa and reduce absorption of key nutrients such as magnesium and zinc, two minerals essential for brain function and immunity after 60. So even though it's often called a superfruit, in reality, for those over 62, pineapple is a false ally. It works well for young people with fast metabolism, but it can have the opposite effect on those seeking longevity and vitality. But if you think you've seen the worst, wait for what's next, because the third and second most dangerous fruits are the ones almost every doctor recommends. Fruits that seem to protect your heart and digestion. But according to new research, they can actually speed up cellular aging by up to 40%. Yes, 40% faster. And the most alarming part, they're included in almost every so-called healthy diet circulating on the internet. Stay with me, because in the next chapter, you'll discover which fruits these are and why they might be draining your energy and memory, even though they look perfectly healthy. Few fruits have as good a reputation as the grape. It's associated with heart health, red wine, and the famous antioxidant resveratrol. But here's what nobody tells you. Grapes are among the fruits with the highest concentration of natural sugar per serving. A small cup of grapes contains on average 23 grams of sugar, practically the same as a small glass of soda. And the most deceptive part is that because they're small, it's easy to overeat. Many older adults, for example, snack on grapes thinking they're a light, healthy option. In reality, each handful can sharply raise blood glucose, triggering insulin spikes that tire out the pancreas and increase systemic inflammation. According to a study published by Harvard Health Publishing, these repeated sugar spikes are among the main factors that accelerate cellular aging and cognitive decline in people over 60. In other words, that healthy dessert might slowly be draining your mental energy and focus. In addition, most grapes sold in supermarkets are grown with persistent pesticide residues, especially when they're not organic. These substances, according to the Journal of Toxicology, can disrupt hormones, raise the risk of cardiovascular disease, and even interfere with sleep, something many older adults already struggle with naturally. But here's the critical point. The body of someone over 62 doesn't metabolize fructose the same way a 30-year-old does, with a more sensitive liver and a slower metabolism. Excess fructose is quickly converted into visceral fat, the kind that builds up around organs and is directly linked to chronic inflammation and memory loss. And here's the irony. While grapes do contain beneficial compounds, it's almost impossible to get the positive effects of resveratrol without overloading on sugar. That's why grapes take the number 3 spot on this list. But if you think grapes are bad, get ready, because the number 2 fruit looks even more harmless, and it's one of the most recommended by doctors, nutritionists, and influencers alike. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. That phrase has been passed down for generations, but what modern science reveals is that for people over 62, this so-called miracle fruit has a darker side. Yes, apples contain fiber and antioxidants, but they also have high amounts of free fructose, the type of sugar that easily accumulates in the liver and raises triglycerides. The problem gets worse when the fruit is eaten without the peel, losing its fiber, or consumed as juice, which is very common among older adults. A glass of apple juice, even if it's natural, contains almost the same amount of sugar as a can of soda, and without fiber to slow absorption, that sugar goes straight into your bloodstream. According to the American Diabetes Association, repeated spikes of fructose and glucose after age 60 are linked to a higher risk of metabolic syndrome, fatty liver disease, and loss of arterial elasticity, all of which directly increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Another important point, modern apples aren't the same as they were 50 years ago. Today, most varieties are genetically selected to be sweeter and last longer, which means fewer nutrients and more sugar in every bite. And if that weren't enough, many apples are coated with synthetic wax and pesticide residues that the aging body struggles to eliminate. These chemicals, according to studies published in Environmental Health Perspectives, can disrupt hormones and reduce insulin sensitivity, accelerating metabolic aging. But take note, the problem isn't the apple itself, it's how and how often you eat it. Half an apple with the peel, combined with protein or healthy fat, like nuts, is very different from eating 2 ripe apples alone or drinking juice on an empty stomach. And now, we reach the most important point in this investigation. Because if grapes and apples already hide dangerous traps, the next fruit is the #1 risk for anyone over 62. It's sold as the ultimate symbol of health, featured in celebrity diets and trendy detox plans. But new research shows it can inflame the gut, disrupt brain function, and accelerate cellular aging faster than any other popular fruit. It's the orange. It's seen as a symbol of health, balance, and immunity. All our lives, we've been told that orange juice is essential to prevent colds and boost the immune system. But modern science shows that after 62, this beloved fruit might be one of the biggest saboteurs of your energy, memory, and metabolism. Let's get straight to the point. The problem with oranges isn't vitamin C. It's the sugar and the acidity. A single medium orange contains about 20 grams of natural sugar, and in practice, almost no one eats just one orange. Most people, especially at breakfast, drink the juice of 2 or 3, which equals nearly 10 teaspoons of sugar. Not to mention that, in juice form, all the fiber is completely removed. The result? An intense blood sugar spike first thing in the morning, triggering insulin, giving you a short burst of energy, and then a sudden crash that leaves you tired, irritable, and craving more sugar. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, frequent consumption of fruit juices, especially citrus juices, is directly linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes in adults over 60. But the problem goes beyond glucose. Oranges are highly acidic, and that acidity can irritate the stomach and intestines in older adults, whose bodies already produce less mucin, the protective layer that lines the digestive tract. That's why so many people after 60 experience heartburn, reflux, or stomach pain when drinking orange juice on an empty stomach, symptoms often mistaken for gastritis. And there's an even more silent effect. The acidity and excess fructose in oranges raise cortisol levels and reduce magnesium absorption, a mineral essential for your muscles, sleep, and memory. In other words, the habit of drinking orange juice every day could slowly be draining your vitality, disrupting your rest, and speeding up cellular aging. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that high levels of citrus fructose cause insulin resistance and mitochondrial dysfunction, meaning your cells literally produce less energy. That's exactly why so many people complain of low energy or mental fog, even while maintaining what seems like a healthy diet. And ironically, this fruit that's supposed to protect the heart may do the opposite. The fructose and acidity in oranges can trigger inflammatory processes that reduce the elasticity of your arteries and increase the risk of high blood pressure, a silent danger for anyone over 62. But take note, you don't have to give up oranges entirely. The key is how you consume them. Eating a slice with pulp, along with a source of protein, like natural yogurt or nuts, is very different from drinking a full glass of concentrated juice. It's the dose and the context that turn an orange from an ally into a threat. Today, you've seen that not every fruit is your friend. After 62, the body changes, and what once gave you energy can now cause inflammation, fatigue, and silent pain. Ripe bananas, Mangoes, pineapples, grapes, apples, and even oranges. They all seem healthy, but they hide traps that can sabotage your metabolism, raise blood sugar, and accelerate cellular aging. And the truth is, it's not your fault. For years, you were told the more fruit, the better. But no one explained that the mature body needs a different kind of nutrition. Intelligent nutrition designed to protect your brain, your heart, and your joints. The good news is that there's a clear path to reverse this. Yes, there's a way to eat that reduces inflammation, boosts energy, and restores lightness to your days. And it begins with the right foods. Research from the Harvard Medical School and the Journal of Gerontology shows that specific food combinations can reduce pain, balance blood sugar, and even slow down cellular aging. And that's exactly what I want to show you right now. There's a free and quick presentation created especially for people over 60, where you'll discover which fruits and foods actually rejuvenate the body, protect the heart, and bring back the vitality that time tried to take away. In this presentation, you'll learn the right combinations that truly feed your cells with real energy, the foods that help reduce back and joint pain, and the simple secrets that naturally improve sleep, memory, and focus, safely and effectively. This isn't theory, it's real science, made simple and practical. And the best part, you can watch it right now. Just click the link in the description or the first pinned comment. Watch the free presentation while it's still available. It only takes a few minutes, but it could completely transform how you eat and how you age. Because after 60, every meal can be medicine or poison. And now that you've learned what's been sabotaging your health, it's time to discover what can restore it. Click the link in the description or the first pinned comment and watch the free presentation now. See how to regain energy, mental clarity, and lightness in your body, starting with your very next meal.